All right, let's get started. So I prepared this issue and I will just walk through it, starting out by creating a new repository based on this template. So the Hello World JS action is the most simple action I can think of written in JavaScript that still uses some core features. For one, it has dependencies and it uses inputs and outputs. Okay, let me start out by use this repository as template. It's gonna be public. The repository name will be called cowsay action. GitHub Action. Cowsay GitHub Action written in JavaScript. All right. Create a repository from template. Let's see what will happen. All right, so this is all the code from the current Hello World JS actions, including the workflows. So I think it will actually go ahead and just publish version 1. And why not? So this is interesting because releases are entirely automated here with semantic release based on your commit messages. And it also pushes to a v1.x branch, so you can reliably use this cowsay action with all features and bug fixes that will come without being afraid that it will break. So that's a really good setup. If at any point in time there is a breaking change, I will just create a v2.x action. Okay, let's see if it actually published a new release or not. Okay, I guess that's a message we get when we create a repository based on another one. Let's see how this will work. Okay, so what I will do now is clone this repository locally. So let's do git clone virtual cowsay action. And I can use the shortcut with just the repository owner name because I use a thing called hub. You can check it out at hub.github.com. Anyway, so I cd into the cowsay action and let's open it up. Okay. So what is relevant in here? The index.js is where things are happening. So this is my Node.js code that is executed. I depend on the actions core package, which gives me an API to get inputs and write outputs for GitHub Actions. And all it does is basically just log out hello world. The inputs and outputs are defined in the actions.yaml file. And the actions.yaml file is what tells GitHub that this is actually a GitHub action. So when you go to the Hello World JS action, you will get this banner. Use this GitHub action with your project. And you can see it in the GitHub Marketplace. And this is what we're going to do with the cowsay action as well. You have some options where you can configure the branding. So for example, you can use purple, which is really nice. I think this is the Rebecca purple color, which is very beautiful. And in terms of icon, they're all documented on GitHub. So this is highly important. So definitely let's do GitHub Actions branding, and we should find the options that we have available. Oh, here's actually GitHub repository by high-forting B user, where they created this nice website, which is easier to look up. So we have all these icons. Let's see it in purple. So what would be a good thing for cowsay? I think there are, this is good, like message circle or message square maybe. Yeah, let's do message square. Okay, so basically this is my branding now. Let's say cowsay, and then let's copy the description that we created on the new repository here. Okay. Okay, input is just text. It's required here. There is no default value thing for how to say. There is no outputs, so we can remove that. And then here defines environment where it's running. You can also use Docker for Node 12. There is no Node 14 or 16 at this point. It's basically fixed to Node 12. And the important part here is that I do not point to my index.js file. This is not the file that's going to be executed if you will use this action in your workflow. Instead, it will execute this index.js, which is a single file which includes all the dependencies. So here it includes all the code for actions core, because if someone is using your action in the workflow, the actions dependencies do not get installed. It's your responsibility to make sure that all the code is present when you publish a GitHub action to NPM. Okay, so that all looks good. So we will have text here, and for now we can just log text, and that's it. Okay, probably nothing will happen when I run this right now, because, okay, for one, I don't have actions core installed. But second, the text input is not defined, so probably actions core will throw an error or just log nothing. So there you go. So I think it's inputs text. No, I don't know what it is, but oh yeah, there it is. So basically, right now, the way input works is it's just environmental variables with the prefix input underscore, which is why inputs can only be strings. You cannot set it to numbers or objects or anything else. Or you can, but then you are responsible for parsing them. You will only get strings from GitHub. Okay, so this is how we can say hello world. Oops, what have I done? Oh, I see. Okay. Well, let's just say hello then. Okay, next let's install cowsay. Okay. So now let's use cowsay here. And we have the text, and then we want to use core input to log out the text, and we go through cowsay say and text. Okay, that looks good. Let's find out what our little test is. And that looks fantastic. So neat. I will just commit this all in a new branch called initial version. initial version commit, and this FEAT colon is the colon prefix I was talking about for semantic release. So if this commit gets pushed to the main branch, then a new version gets released automatically. All right, let's create a pull request. And I used the GH CLI. You can find it at github.com CLI. Shout out to the CLI team. It's a fantastic tool already, and it just gets so much better. So you can just do GHPR, create, and it will walk you through creating a pull request. So I want to push it, to this repository. The title looks great. I don't want to edit the pull request body. I don't want to set any assignees or labels, so I can just submit it. And now what's new is I can watch my GitHub Actions running right from my console. Isn't that cool? So here is the README example that is still copied from my Hello World app. So I have like some assertions built in here using inline Node.js code, and this will obviously fail. It already failed here, so let's see what's up. We have here view --web opens the current pull request in the browser, so we can go on details. Okay. So this is a weird error. I assume what is happening is that I didn't set the text input. Okay. So let's just say README example. Let's remove the assertion. I don't need any of this. And then just with text hello. The user's root path basically allows me to use this action with itself. Text is not allowed. Okay, I don't know if this is syntax error VS Code or an actual problem. We shall find out. So let's push this. CI test adapt for cowsay. And next, I need to update my README because this is all saying hello world. So cowsay action. Then I should update this description everywhere where it's still left. Package JSON and README, okay. Oops, I'm pointing to the entirely wrong repository. Also, in my hello world action, probably an action fail there. So this is cowsay action. And for a matter of fact, let me just replace this repository name everywhere. Oops. So cowsay action. Replace everywhere. So how it works, I guess, I can just remove that. This is not the job of this repository. We can leave it in the hello world review. Okay, the license is actually not MIT. Oops, I see. Another thing I have to fix in the hello world action repository, or you're welcome to send a pull request. Okay. Well, hello, Crazy Mac staff. It's nice to have someone joining me here because I still have no idea what I am doing. Move the streaming, I mean. I have some idea about GitHub Actions and the tooling behind it, I think. Okay, so I've updated the README. That looks good. Let's push the change. So let's edit this. Okay. Update, whatever. Repository to new name. Here the commit messages don't really matter because I will squash all commits before I merge the pull requests in the end, so I get the commit message that I want for semantic release. Okay. So here's my test pending. Let's see if it'll fall apart again or not. Oh, that looks good. Hey, hello. So that looks pretty cool. We can actually copy this and add it to our README so people have an idea what's going on. Which is outside. Okay. That looks good. Okay. Show output to the example. We can watch what's happening from the console. Okay, so that looks good. Now I can GitHub PR merge. I want to squash and merge. I want to delete the local branch. I want to make sure that the commit message is correct. And submit. All right. If everything goes well, we should release our first version here. Let's see. Excitement. All right, that all looks great. I think GH should have a command for releases as well. Yeah, GH release. GH release list. GH release view latest web. Okay, that looks good. So this has been published to a GitHub release. And once you have a GitHub release, you can hit edit release. And then because there is an action.yaml file in the repository, you will get this checkbox. And I say, yep. Okay. I hate seeing this error. I get it all the time. The same name must be unique, cannot match an existing action or an organization name. Now, dear GitHub Actions team, when I go to Marketplace Actions cowsay, there's nothing. And when I go to cowsay, there is no organization. This is a personal account that I can follow. So why the heck do I get this stupid error? I'm sorry. Okay. Let me see if I can search for cowsay and see if there are like either cowsay actions. There's cowsays. All right, whatever. I will just rename it to cowsay JS because it's written in JavaScript and naming is hard and I'm out of ideas. Maybe Max has an idea. Okay, let's try. So I just will directly push to the main branch because I didn't add any code, I just added a name. So I just renamed the action to cowsay.js. Yeah, I have to pull first because semantic release creates a new commit, which includes the build asset in this. And after that, I can push. Okay. So let's open this actions release. Should go pretty fast. Okay, there we go. So related our release. Let's try to publish this. Okay, so now GitHub is happy. And we can see our action on the marketplace. How cool is that? So that wasn't too hard. Maybe to finish this up, let me just copy all this and actually use it in GitHub Action workflow. So I have my sandbox repository here. And in here, I have a debug workflow for exactly stuff like this. So we can just, I would say, and now I can go to GitHub Action, and because I set the repository dispatch event trigger, I can just trigger this action manually, and it should pop up here in a second. And we can see if that works. Oh no. Okay, so that is not working because this uses some kind of static assets. So you can check it out. It has all these cow files, which is from the original implementation, I think, by Tony Monroe, who created this in Perl. And the build step that I have using Versal NCC that creates this file does not copy the static file. So there are two ways to approach this. One is to check out Versal NCC and see if they have some kind of static assets, like some kind of copy feature. Okay. The other possibility is that we manually copy all these files over to the dist folder and make sure that they get published. And the third option that I want to check out first is, let's see if there's another cowsay package. that does not rely on any cow files. So this is all JS, which exports. So I think this will actually work for our build step. Okay. Okay. Nice. So trying to create some examples here so we can exactly check out how it works. So that is really nice of them. So we just get cowsay. Okay. So he's importing, or they are importing some different cows and randomize which cow they use that gets locked out. But I don't care about that. I just want to use the default cow. Okay, let's do that. So npm uninstall cowsay. Let's do that in the new branch. Replace cowsay package. And then let's install cowsay 2. And while that is installing, let's check out the index.js file. Okay. Let's replace this another function. What am I doing wrong here? Yes. Text replaces null function. Oh, maybe the parameter is not called text. Oh, yes. So, okay, let's reverse that. And it's not an object. It's just the root argument. Not find more than cowsay, of course not. Yay! Okay. Let's replace cowsay with cowsay 2 for compatibility with Vercel NCC. Pair create. Yep. Okay, submit. And actually, I want to see this in the browser because the log output is not shown. So, okay, that all looks good. So now I can merge and I will just bypass the questions and say S for squash and D for delete local branch. So that is that. Okay. Now I can watch for the release. And once the release is done, I can go back to my sandbox here, my debug workflow that failed the last time. And I can just trigger it again. And because of the way releases work with semantic release, is that, you see, okay, we have the new release out. It pushes the version to the v1.x branch. which is what I'm using in my workflow. So I don't need to change my workflow. I automatically get all the fixes, which is how semantic release is supposed to work and how we can make it work for GitHub Actions. Okay, well, I'm also running out of time. I'm trying to keep this to 30 minutes, so please, dear demo gods. Okay, so that worked. Yay, there it is. All this debug information here is just enabled in this repository. You would normally see that. Okay, I think that's a wrap. I want to, yeah. So one thing that I also don't get, dear GitHub Actions team, is I want to automate that every release gets automatically pushed to GitHub. I don't think there is a way for me to automate this. So now when I reload this page, it should say version 1.02. It would make a difference. I think the README gets actually updated, but not this version. And you will get the 1.02 version anyway, because you use the v1.x branch. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for bearing with me. I hope that setup worked better this time. And yeah, I will see you on Thursday on a very interesting code editing show, which I will do with Jeb from Microsoft. We will write a GitHub action to audit repositories and all user accounts and teams that have access to each repository, and track this information every day for backup and yeah, for auditing. So I hope to see you then. Thanks again, and I'm out.